Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much, Ian, for our presentation in the Plockton AGM. Welcome to everyone who's online and also to people joining us in Knoydart, Aviemore and Inverness. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Highland Good Food Partnership gatherings and AGM, we're really working towards sort of building a regenerative and sustainable food system for the whole of the Highlands. So it's fantastic to see that there's so many people passionate about good food in the Highlands. So this is our third gathering, which is very exciting, our third AGM as a properly sort of incorporated charity. And yeah, we're looking forward to some good celebrations today about food. And I'll give a quick update on what we've been up to over the last year, as well as giving sort of a talk through of what we're looking forward to in the next couple of years as well, and opportunities for collaboration and work towards that almighty food system in Highland. So if everyone can hear me online and we're good to go, I will get started. Right, oh, here we go. It's on this one. Technology. Okay, so who we are, just as a little refresher. So we're Highland Good Food. We are a Scottish charitable incorporated organisation as of 2021, I believe it was. Yes, so we have 314 members currently. So that is up 69 since last year, so we're doing something well. We're getting the word out there, and that's 130 since 2023 as well. So year-on-year growth, which is really fantastic, and we're always looking for new partners to come on board and new members to get involved. What we've been working on really hard over the last 12 months is getting a clear sort of vision, our mission and our values for what we want to achieve in the Highlands across our food sector. So we've come up with our vision. I won't read these all out just in the interest of time, but these are available on our webpage, so you can check in. We did a bit of a redesign of our charter over the last 12 months as it was a bit wordy, and we were trying to sort of really pull out what tangible action we can actually deliver, and really try and get some good sort of values that encompass everything that we do. One thing I really want to pull out is that inclusivity and just making sure that there is a space for everyone who's on their food journey, whether you're starting out on a croft, you're just getting involved, you want to get involved in a community planting project, there is a space for you within our community. So just want to make that very clear. So who sort of is the powerhouses behind this? So we've got 8 fantastic trustees currently. Since the last AGM, we've had Moya MacDonald, who's come on board, and she brings a wealth of experience around connecting farm clusters in the Cairngorms National Park, as well as some really interesting knowledge around soils as well. And we've got our still standing trustees, Helen, Sarah, myself, Adam, trustee, and Lucinda as well. And I am the chair of the Highland Good Food, have been for the last year, which is quite scary. And Adam came into the treasurer position at the last AGM, and then Moya has stepped into the secretariat role as well. Unfortunately, we do have one trustee standing down, that is the fantastic Fred Swift. So Fred has contributed a huge amount to the partnership over the last 12 months. So just a massive shout out to Fred for all that he's contributed from his farming background and all his invaluable knowledge. And then we have got our brilliant staff members. So without them, we would not be able to sort of do what we do on the ground. So we've got Brenna, we've got Rachel, we've got Ellie, and we've got Fuggle as well. And all of them have a really pivotal role in sort of driving forward our projects on the ground, getting that communication out, organising events like this, and making sure that people are able to tune in and see what we're up to, and getting the communities involved right through to sort of communicating with Scottish Government and trying to sort of inform and influence some of those decisions that are made out with the Highlands. So I wanted to talk about the Highland Good Food Map at the moment. So this is a really great resource that we've got on the website, and it's an interactive map that we've partnered with Highland Third Sector Interface to develop. And now it is all in one place, so you can access it, and everything is sort of in this one-stop shop on where your local food larders are, who your local producers are, where your fridges, the tables, and what community food growing initiatives are available in your local areas. So if you, after this AGM, have a look at this and see that something's missing, or you want to add, you know of sort of a local producer that would like to be involved, do reach out, and we're always looking for more people to get involved in this map. Fab. Okie dokie. So the Highland Good Food podcast as well. So this is another one of our really great assets that we use to help spread the word of the amazing work that's happening in Highland and amplify the voices of our communities and producers and people that have questions that they want answers to. So again, this is Fuggle, who operates our podcast and has been doing a fantastic job of bringing people that are really passionate about food and developing a more sustainable food system in the Highlands. And as you can see, our downloads have actually gone up massively since 2024. I think that's the podcast era that we're in at the moment. Everyone loves sticking on a podcast while they're getting ready or driving someplace. So it is available on all sort of your usual platforms. So please do tune in. And if you've got any questions that you want us to sort of pose to farmers or any of our members, do let us know, reach out with any themes that they might have. I will say that we're going to be redesigning it and make it a little bit more sort of focused over the next sort of year. So we'll be hitting some key themes that are coming out from conversations that we're having on the ground with various people. Okay. Now, is that changed? So I'm now just going to run through some of the projects we've been working on over the last 12 months and some of the projects that have been progressing. So these are two areas that Brenna Anderson has been progressing for us and has been doing a fantastic job. The Highland Community Waste Partnership actually came to an end back in March, which was the end of a 3-year programme of work, bringing together different community groups from across the Highlands to sort of progress community composting and other elements that are really key to community waste. So there was swap shops, and one thing that Highland Good Food Partnership really focused on was that aspect of food waste and how we can sort of build better systems in local communities, because as you know, there's a few sort of restrictions on sort of a regional scale of how we sort of recycle and reuse our food waste in the area. And sort of similar to this as well, we've been working on the Highland composting. So a couple of years back, in partnership with Zero Waste Scotland, a highlandcompost.scot website was created, which basically allowed you to look at all the different steps of how you could set up your own community composting. And we've had some recent funding from the Highland Climate Hub to basically progress that and relaunch the website with some additional sort of features and sort of try and tackle some of the issues that people were facing with the usability of the site. So We're hoping to do a relaunch in November, and this will be a mixture of in-person and online events. So really excited about that. And then outreach. So there's been a huge amount of opportunities that have been progressing over the last 12 months through events like the Why I Buy Local campaign. So this is something that's in sort of chats at the moment, and we're currently going round sort of local businesses to understand why they would buy local produce. And we're doing sort of interviews. So that will be coming out soon, and we're excited to launch that. Then we've had the Black Isle Feast, which was from the 1st to the 7th of September. Is that right, Martin? Yeah. We had a similar event last year, and we were just building on the success and the engagement that we had around that event. And that, again, is trying to get local businesses involved, trying to connect sort of producers to local businesses, to start that conversation and understand how we can sort of get more local food into local businesses as well. We had an Inverness Food Conversation event where we brought together loads of different stakeholders that are really sort of pivotal in the food system, can influence sort of procurement regimes, and also sort of linked in with community growing and seeing how we can sort of link across those systems. Growing in schools continues to be sort of a really sort of passion point for us. We want to ensure that young people are seeing the value of good food from a really early age. So really sort of connecting into that. And then we've also been working on some future collaborations for feast ideas. And we released a feast toolkit, which basically outlines how you can put on your own feast event in your local area. So there's been some good progress with some communities on Skye, and that's been really exciting. Okay, just a couple more. So I've already touched on the Feast Toolkit. The other one I wanted to point towards is that sort of really partnership working with Visit Inverness Loch Ness. So again, that was really around connecting local producers with local businesses. So what we did was put on sort of a tour around local producers in the Inverness region to basically allow businesses to see what they were doing and see how they could connect up and sort of form those relationships around those partnerships. So really an exciting part of work. And as I said, the Feast Toolkit is an available resource for anyone who's looking to host a feast event. And just for the food strategy, so this is something we've been working really hard on with the Highland Council and NHS Highland. And we've had a partnership in the last 12 months around a living lab, the Living Lab at Edinburgh Uni, to do some research for us. So that's a piece of work that's been led by Ellie. And what we're really trying to do is sort of connect all those dots around sort of the food system, and this one really ties into that policy and what we can influence and get those Highland voices amplified, and work towards sort of that good food national bill. And over the next 12 months, or within the time frame that Scottish Government agree, we'll be looking at developing those local food plans as well. So we really want to have that key pivotal role in the development and make sure that all our members' voices are heard in that process. And I know Martin mentioned this to the Plockton event today. So we're putting on a Highland Venison event in February, hopefully, in partnership with Scottish Venison Association and Nature Scot. Is everything okay? You think? Yeah, keep going. Yeah. We've got a crawling Martin trying to sort some admin. Perfect. That's brilliant. Just more and more people joining, which is really encouraging to see. So what we're really trying to develop here is develop those really key partnerships that are going to be pivotal for making sure that all our voices are heard. I think there's a wee bit of a lag, and then a bit of a comms update. So this is what Rachel has been working on over the last couple of years. And as you can see, what we're seeing is a real uplift in our interactions. And we did a really big reboot of our membership. So we contacted lots of our membership, put sort of out an open sort of invite of, are you still engaged? Are you still sort of wanting to be involved? And this allowed us to know exactly who we were contacting and allowed us to rejig a little bit. We also did a website revamp, which a couple of the trustees were really heavily involved, Adam and Lucinda, just around sort of making sure that it was super accessible for everyone that wanted to find out about us and what was going on in the local area as well. So as you can see, sort of our social media is growing, and we're just really trying to sort of build that outreach as much as possible. So again, if there are questions or things you want to see more of, then please do reach out, and our email will be at the end of these slides as well for your improvement. So this is in line with our development of a vision, mission, and our values. So over the last 6 months, we've been looking at the development of a theory of change. So this is how we basically are going to try and tangibly, so actually deliver action on the ground from sort of those challenges that we're seeing and what sort of working back from that process. So through that sort of development and through conversations that we've had with our staff, our members, and within the trustees, we've identified sort of our key goals and our intermediate goals as well. So over time, we want to make sure that everyone has access to good food. And as part of that, it is defining what is good food. And I think that's what we really want to hear from our members is, what do you think is good food? So it's really sort of a question out to yourselves, and really interested to hear your views on what you consider good food. And then we were just talking about this, so local and thriving production, making sure that our supply chains are shortened so that people have that access, and it really feeds into that first goal. And our food systems are sustainable and they are resilient. They are going to be able to be resilient to the impacts of climate change, you know, the other impacts that are really facing our region and worldwide at the moment, and making sure that people do have access to food constantly, and we know sort of what's happening in terms of that seasonality. We know the struggles that our producers are under, and we are conscious of that, and we're not feeding into that problem. And then the last one is around that cultural integration of food. So how people connect with food. I think we've maybe lost that in the last sort of decade, where people feel connected to what they're eating and they get enjoyment from it as well. So we're really wanting to build that culture behind good food, that atmosphere of sort of connecting with your neighbour and sharing sort of a meal together, and just being able to have a really good relationship with food, right through from when it comes out from the ground, right through to when it sort of enters your body, and you're getting that really good relationship from it, that nutrients as well as enjoyment as well. And then just on the intermediate goals as well, we're just, as I've talked through, sort of the integrated food strategy. So that's the work with the Highland Council and the NHS Highland. Increase local food consumption, so trying to connect local producers with businesses and local communities as well. And then enhancing that food culture and education through enhanced comms and making sure that people have access to all those areas. and then that support for producers as well, links to resources that are available, to funding, and to be able to explore different methodologies for using sort of regenerative agriculture or organic farming practices, taking everyone on that journey so that the fuel system is circular and we're not feeding into that waste issue that we've got at the moment, where obviously there's a huge amount of waste happening across the region. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone. I will finish there and I'll pass to Adam, but just a massive thank you to everyone who's turned out today, and thank you to the crowd in Plockton for coming out. I'm really just excited by what progress we've made even in the last 6 months, let alone the last 4 years as a partnership and as a conversation. Having those difficult conversations around food, but then hearing what people are passionate about and trying to connect people across the food sector to get involved and get that enjoyment from food. So I will stop speaking there, and I think it's over to Adam to sharing. Oh,
hello.
Oh, thanks, Adam.
Can everyone hear us okay? Yes, good. So I won't, I'm going to stand over to the side here. Big hello from Inverness to our various gatherings, Plockton, Knoydart, Aviemore, and our wonderful members joining online as well. We've had to put the camera at the back so our projector could be larger, but trust us, you look wonderful. As the current treasurer for Highland Good Food Partnership, the pleasure falls to me to give you a financial update as part of our AGM, but I'll try to keep the notes fairly brief. The full accounts are available online on our website for everyone to see, and there's more extensive notes in there as well. For this year's AGM, we're presenting our accounts for the year ended 31st of March 2025, and the comparative figures are for the 31st of March 2024. And I'm pleased to say that overall the accounts show a surplus for the period of just over £10,000, and that's recovering from a deficit of just over £1,000 in 2024. Which is made up of unrestricted funds, a surplus of just under £10,000, and restricted funds, a surplus of £500. Both unrestricted and restricted funds, as I said, ended in a positive balance, giving the partnership a healthy financial footing. The distinction is important. So unrestricted funds are those which can be applied by trustees to support our core activities and new opportunities, while restricted funds are reserved to be spent on specific projects. In terms of our balance sheet, as of 31st of March 2025, the partnership held total funds of just over £20,000, compared to £11,000 the previous year. And as I say, of that, 17,000 was unrestricted and around 4,000 was restricted. Cash at bank and in hand was just over £20,000. Growth in reserves is very encouraging. It places the partnership on a more secure footing, and means that we can plan ahead with confidence. Starting the new year with strong reserves gives us scope to commit to larger pieces of work and continue delivering those programs, some of which Katie has just spoken to. So those which align with our mission, without always needing to seek additional funding before starting to act. And importantly, it's also created the for appointing a CEO to lead the partnership in its next phase of development, and interviews for that role are currently underway. Our strong reserves sit alongside continued support from our funders, to whom we're very grateful, in particular core funding from Scotland Food and Drink as the regional food group for the Highlands, and the Pebble Trust remains invaluable as it underpins our core costs and gives us the stability to deliver wider projects. That's your financial update. I'll pass back.
Thank you, Adam. That was brilliant. And I just remembered while you were speaking there, I forgot to do the oh.
You need to speak to that one because that's on the camera.
Oh, do I speak to this one?
Sorry.
Hello. Oh. Yeah, I don't have there we go. Hello, everyone. Oh, it's okay. There's no more presentation. So yes, so I forgot to do the agreement of the minutes before I started my chair's report. So if I could just get a seconder to move forward that motion, that would be great. Okay, I've got Martin in the room, so that's fantastic. And I'm now actually passing over to Martin to do the election of the trustees. So that was good timing.
I'm not sure which camera is working here, I'm afraid.
So I think they're both working, but I can turn this one off. There we go.
Yeah, okay. So so it falls to me now just to deal with the election of trustees. And as Katie said, the existing trustees, with the exception of Fred Swift, are standing for re-election. So that means Katie, Helen O'Keefe, myself, Sarah Boyer, Lucinda Jeffrey, Adam Bell and Moya MacDonald are standing for election. Details of them are available on the website, so hopefully people would have had a look and decided if there's anyone there that they really don't want to see re-elected. But I think I'm going to ask if members are happy to re-elect those standing en bloc. So if anybody doesn't want to do that, could they possibly raise their hands now? And I'm taking it. I can't see anyone in Aviemore, but hopefully nobody's objecting to that. In which case, can I take it that, oh yes, it's Aviemore at the top. Can I then ask for those in favour of all those people being re-elected? And again, I think I can take that as being unanimous. Hurrah, thank you very much. So we have a board of trustees again.
Oh.
And the only remaining item on the agenda is any other competent business. So is there any other competent business?
And if there's any questions afterwards, you can get in touch. If you want to put anything into the Zoom chat as well, then please feel free to. And yeah, we'll take that forward. But slightly different to last year, we're not going to stay online and have a discussion. We're going to let you have your discussions in your local areas, at your local food gatherings. And if there is anything you want us to cover, as I say, just get in touch with the email address that hopefully you'll all have, but we'll share those slides. They should be online anyway, so hopefully that's all good. So just a wee closing remark for myself. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoy your afternoons wherever you are. And just thank you so much for joining us today and being part of this journey. I look forward to the next 12 months and hopefully seeing you again at one of our food gatherings and our next AGM in a year. But let's keep the conversation going. Get in touch whenever you feel and keep following us on this. So thank you.